Okay everybody, since we are having Christmas, I thought I would make my own version of Gravalax, which is probably a term that you heard before. So among other things I have these lemons, which we're gonna put in there. So, first to make the Gravalax, of course we will need the logs, otherwise there will be none. Then we only have lemons and sipuli and stuff, which will be pretty annoying since you actually want logs in your Gravalax. So this is about 2 kilograms. It's also, I think it's grown in captivity somewhere, and it's a pretty huge piece. And I think actually this comes pretty trimmed and good from the beginning, so there is not very much I need to do to this except take the skin off, for which I have a lot better knife than that. So we're gonna try to find a way to do that in a total amateur way, because I have not really been doing a lot of this. But that's also good, because then if you don't do this like for a living or often, you can figure out that, well, I can also do this. We're gonna turn that the other way, like this, so I get a better grip of it. We're actually just gonna go down and up against the skin. It should actually come off pretty easy. And if you feel uncomfortable with taking all the skin off at one move, you can always split it into several bits and pieces, which I think I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna cut down here so I can see what I'm doing. And of course my hands are washed. They're extremely washed. They're washadest. They're so extremely washed that you could actually polish them and use them for accessories. Now we have half a fish left to go, so we're gonna keep doing this. And I actually found something out right about now. I have too short knife. It doesn't even go through here. So we can do one side and then we do half a side and then we do the rest of the side. So we're going to slide through here, and since this is going to take forever, you can read the short bedtime story about Santa Claus and his 50 elves and that other guy I forgot the name of. So we actually got this far and we're almost done already, and I'm pretty good at this, aren't I? Mm-hmm. And we're gonna I have actually worked with fish, but not this big fish. I'm more of a herring person. And as you can see, this is not the chef's way of doing this, but the regular people way of trying to get through the fish. And now we're going to get rid of this. And I'm going to wash my hands again. Now we're going to take and chop some onions, because we will need those. And they're actually, I think they're yellow. They're not cowards, they're just yellow. So we're gonna, not that that matters. So we're gonna try to cut those in an absolutely amateur way, as usual, because I can't cut onions in a professional way. I can only cut them like normal, regular people do it. So we're just gonna peel the skin off really incredibly fast with light speed. or something extremely close to light speed. It's actually true, we have light and we're going as fast as we can, so that should be light speed. We cut the onion in two, then we cut the onion this way, the total amateur normal way to cut the onion, and then we're just going to chop it up into flakes or whatever flakes, and we're going to try to avoid to cut the fingers at the same time. We were really close there, which is kind of
scary.
Yeah, and we're also dropping stuff on the floor. Stuff dropped on the floor should not be used by people that cannot handle stuff that is dropped on the floor. That should be mentioned. I will not take responsibility for people picking up stuff from the floor and then yeah. And that was one onion. Now we're going to repeat this several times, maybe 3 more times. We need lots and lots of onion. Onion are really tasty when you make fish. You're going to have onion in there.
I hope you don't start to cry from that.
We're probably going to, but then when we get so far that we can actually eat this, we're going to really enjoy it. So a few tears to finish the years off. As long as it's just with onion, it can actually be quite okay. I'm not that bad at this, am I?
No.
I can actually onionize this onion into onion pieces, which is, I wonder if I actually need this much onion, or if we're gonna take one of those fish breaks and cut more if we need it.
Yeah, we could use the rest for something else.
Yeah. So we're also gonna cut the rest. I have salt here, sea salt. You need sea salt. Sea salt is better for fish anyway. Then we're gonna take this piece, and I'm actually gonna trim it a little because is this in the way?
Yeah, it was in the way.
Let me put it over there. We can actually trim that piece. We can trim off. Let's see what we do with it later. We can put it over there. Okay, then we're gonna chop up the fish. I trimmed it off some over there, just to not get so much of this, whatever it is. So then we're just gonna feel it and see if there's any bones left. And if we find the bone, we could actually take it out. I know many of you would actually want to have huge gloves on, but since I'm and my closest family is the only one that's gonna eat of this, we all know each other, and we also know all of each other's germs, so that will not be a problem. We cut this off up to about 1 centimeter pieces, not too thick and still not too small either, because if you're gonna take this and put it on like a sandwich or something, you actually want something, you want it to, well, you want to feel the fish, so it's not over as soon as you started to eat it. There might actually be some bones down here that we have to peel off. I will change my knife and take care of those. There's a little edge over here. We can take those off. As you can see, I'm doing this in a totally non-professional way, which establish a confidence that anyone can actually do this. So we're gonna take these lovely pieces and just put them in storage there for a while. So they don't get in the way until we have everything else fixed. So we're gonna keep doing this for a while and cut this into the so much we need, or for as long as the fish lasts, which is kind of good. It's actually a beautiful color, this. I think it's due to some... They give the fish some food and then it turns out like that. I think it's some... I don't know what it's called. It's a tiny little animal that they like to eat, and what else they put in that food I don't know. At least it looks delicious.
Yeah.
So...
It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's actually one of mine too. It doesn't become Christmas if I can't get my fish made. And this is actually something that some would call this, since it's not going to be fried or cooked, some will say, well, that's unprepared. But it's actually prepared because we put salt on it.
Yeah.
And what happens when you put salt on it is that the salt will take the fluid inside the fish and it will pull the fluid from the fish, and the salt will go into it, and actually the whole structure of the fish will change, and all the germs will be salted to death and cease to exist. If you salt enough and you do it the right way. Another thing you need to do to get this correctly made is to put it in the freezer. You need to deep freeze it before you do this procedure, to make sure that if there's any other germs in there, they will actually freeze to death. So there is the idea. I've heard sometimes people say that, oh, you eat raw fish. Well, that's not true. It is not especially raw. It's processed. Now I'm processed. We need to take this and put it over here. And now we're actually done with that part. So now I can take this away. I don't think we're going to need that anymore. Put it in. We're also going to wash off this. Again, we're going to make some other ingredients before we start to. This is also my way of washing the whatever this is called. And you don't have to worry, we're not dying of germs because we're used to them. It's called an immune system. Now, back to the fish.
My eyes are running even though the onion is over there.
Yeah. First we're gonna have some salt. We start off by putting salt in the bottom. You just want it to look like it has been snowing on the bottom of the container. Just like it's been snowing. It's hard to see now when it's white, but it looks like a slight frosting there. And when you got that far, what you need to do then is to take pieces of the fish and you put them down. You put them down in a round circle, just so they stay close together on top of the salt, and the sides of the fish get exposed to the salt, so that it can start to suck that salt into the fish. And when you have the first layer there, then you're going to do the whole procedure again. You're gonna take the sea salt and you're gonna sprinkle it. And the same way you want those fish to start to look slightly like a Christmas morning frost. Yeah, I think it's about right now. And then we're gonna take some of these lemons. And we're gonna cut the lemons to tiny slices. And we put a few of these slices we're gonna put in there because we're gonna put more on top of this. And then we also gonna put, usually I don't use fresh, if you can call it fresh, in the middle of the winter. I don't know where it, but it seems to be growing in the other end, so hopefully it's sort of fresh. And you want this, you just make a good chop of this. I don't know, is it called dill in English also?
I think so.
Or
I'm not sure.
I've seen it grown in the wild sometime when I've been on vacation. At least I think it was, because the flowers were very similar. Let's make a nice pile of that. We're not, it's Christmas. Now we're getting down to the, those will work too. We're gonna stop there, I think, and make a nice chop. I know by now many of the real chefs out there have already probably put their morning coffee in on their shirt or somewhere. But this is the not so chefy people's way of chopping the dill. So now we are squeezing the dill with the knife until it looks like it's choppadest. Chop-dest. And now it's choppadest. Now we're gonna take it and just sprinkle some on there, and you can see it starts to look nice already.
Yeah.
So it can start to suck in the flavors. And when you have done that so far, then you take the onion and you sprinkle a little onion on top of that. Even more nice flavors to grow into that Gravalax. Really. And then we repeat the procedure because we have a lot of this. But then we put the next level on top of this. We actually have quite a lot. I hope it fits inside this box, but it's good because after Christmas you're gonna have New Year's, and you're gonna need a lot of food, since it's one of these years and they say you're gonna stay indoors, and
yeah,
so you can just live outside the refrigerator, and every time you take your mask off you can put in one piece of Gravalax. It's really good. It's really nice. Huge nice pieces. If you put that on a piece of rye bread or I don't know what, limpa.
I don't know what it's
what
called.
That's called in English. It's another kind of bread with lots of anise in it.
Yeah.
And it's great. Then we're gonna do back to the same procedure. We have the sea salt, and now we're gonna be a little more aggressive on the sea salt, because since it's gonna suck out the moisture. It's good when the moisture from this then goes down into the rest of the fish, and everything is gonna mix. Usually after a while I used to take and just lean the bucket over and see if it's juicy. it's actually, you can see that after a while when it's starting to, the process has started. So you can see that the juices of the fish is coming down into the bottom of the bowl. So we put some more on this and take some of those. You have to make a decision here if you're gonna eat with your eyes or if you're just gonna eat with your mouth. You can make it nice or something. Sorry, I just had to check the camera if it was running, because then we put more of these on, more onion. I think we're actually gonna be good on the onion. If we do this right, it might actually fit inside this box and be really, really good. I can almost already taste it tomorrow when we're gonna have, we always have our Christmas dinner at the 24th on Christmas afternoon. We sit down and we have our festivities. We're gonna have half a level more.
Oh.
There's still some in here. That means I have to chop up another one of those, but the onions we're gonna make, those are gonna last. But we have to make a few more of these. Let's make them good ones. Not so thick, so the juices have an easy way of getting out of this. I don't know why I'm going for 4 pieces. You can do 3 or 5 or whatever feels good. And if you don't like lemons, you can make some other, put some other spice in there. The most important spice is the salt. You need the salt. If you don't have the salt, then I almost forgot to put the salt. So but as you can see, I'm doing this in a total amateur way, like I said, and then sometimes it happens that you forgot a little salt. And as we go up, we put a little more salt, since the fluids are gonna flow down and not the other way around. At least that's my amateur opinion on where the juices are going. It's going to spin around and go to the bottom of the bowl and suck out all the juices, and it's gonna go really spicy and interesting. We're gonna take one more of those. We don't have really much left now.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna put the toppings on. We have to put a few more of these here. Just like this. Then we're gonna keep going. And this is just 1/2 of a full fish. The other half of the fish, that we will put in the oven, and I will probably maybe show you some of that too later when the other Christmas thingies are starting to happen, because it's an interesting time of the year. Now we're gonna put even more salt. And afterwards, when we put all those ingredients on and it's done, I need to find some plastic wrappings. It is wrappings. And I wonder if it is wrappings.
I actually don't remember what it's called.
You wrap things. Otherwise we have to find the beet and wrap things, and that would actually not protect the rest of the food from the smell, but who knows, any wrap may do. So we're gonna cut the onion. This is not an onion. We're gonna cut.
Oops.
Well, obviously we had plans to cut an onion.
Yeah.
But now we're cutting the lemon, which is good. Then we're gonna take this part of the lemon which there's still juices in. And we're gonna squeeze that on top as well and get some interesting lemon juices into that mix. Really nice lemon juices in there to really juice this off. And we're really gonna need more dill, because I have also dried dill I have. But we need to chop some more of that. We need to chop some more of that, because since we started with fresh, we're gonna keep going. Just gonna chop off enough to get a nice. Oh look, I'm already almost going through the entire thing, aren't I?
Yeah.
We're gonna put some more. Now it's starting to look really incredibly delicious.
It looks pretty.
Yeah. And there is ways of doing this with a lot less, with a lot more gloves and maybe a more, yeah, I don't know, not so hands-on version. But this is my totally amateur way of making the Gravalax. Have I forgot anything?
The wrap.
Yeah, we don't have any wrap.
We don't have it.
I don't know if we have any wrap. We have to search for it.
Okay.
And I wonder. I did put salt in there, didn't I? Hopefully I did. But we can put a little more because it doesn't matter.
I guess you'll find out when you watch the video.
Yeah. But I can't go back and do that now.
No.
And I don't want to put too much in there, but this looks quite good. So, I'm guessing we need to find that wrappings. Is it in that box maybe?
I can check here.
Maybe there's wrappings. It could be that one.
Oh.
Yeah. There we have wrappings. Now we have to... I have to wash my hands again. I have to wash my hands again. Now you don't actually have to put this in the refrigerator if you don't want to. It's gonna be quite alright. After you can put it if you want to in the refrigerator. I will put it in the cooler side of the refrigerator. Then I'm just gonna wrap it up so much that the smell or the aroma, if it's called aroma, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
The fragrance of the fish, it can stay inside the box. And not so you don't get other Christmassy products that's gonna start to smell like the Gravalax, because it has a distinct salty Gravalax citrusy feeling,
Yeah.
which is really good. So now we're gonna put that in the fridge, and I think that's all for now. And later I will see you making other weird foodstuffs.
It looks good.
Yeah, it is. We're gonna really, and it's heavy too. It's maybe 3 kilos, actually. Then if you enjoy weird foodstuffs and other stuff, and I have no clue what we're gonna do with this channel, but you can subscribe and you'll be surprised. I promise. We're gonna have very much fun. Yeah, and hopefully we can blow something up.
Yeah, that would be fun.
We will start slow. We may blow some balloons up, and after that we might do other stuff, like finding out if you can run 100 meters with the bread loaf up your subway. Anyway, have a nice Christmas.